I'm following the recipe. I guess the chips will add some saltiness. Oh, I'm smart. How can I add a satisfying crunch to a typical tuna salad? Betty Crocker's answer: crunchy cold salads. I'm Melinda, and I'm cooking my way through Betty Crocker's 1971 recipe card library. Today we are making crunchy cold salads, which is from section T, Impromptu Party Fare, card number 13. I first was attracted to this card because I love the presentation of the tuna salad. It's kind of centered on the plate, and then you have this like lettuce, tomato, avocado kind of decoration around the plate, which is really fun. I can't wait to set that up. And the two recipes on the back of the card are super fun. We have tuna on a shoestring, which is a pretty basic tuna salad recipe, but you could see from the front of the card that there's these interesting little sticks in the salad, and those are shoestring potatoes, which I thought, I haven't had those since I was a little kid. They're essentially like potato chips, but in like thin stick form. I think that's gonna add like a really fun texture to the tuna salad. The other recipe is for chip chicken salad, which again is a pretty simple, typical chicken salad recipe, but we're adding potato chips at the end. So I think it's gonna be fun to try out two different types of chips with two different types of salad. I think it's gonna be perfect for summer. Cool, light, crunchy, really fun. So let's give them a try. Okay, let's start with our tuna on a shoestring, which pretty simple, pretty normal tuna salad. I have in this large bowl a cup of shredded carrots, a cup of diced celery, and a quarter cup of minced onion. And to that, I'm gonna add 6.5 ounces of tuna drained. So I'm just gonna kind of dig it out in chunks and throw it into the mix here. I did a segment on the history of canned tuna, so if you wanna check that out, I'll put the link up in this corner. All right, and then we need 3/4 to 1 cup of salad dressing or mayonnaise. I'm gonna go with 3/4. I just feel like we don't wanna go overboard here with the mayo. We'll see how it is at 3/4. If it feels dry, we'll add more. So that's a 1/2 cup. 1/2 of a half. Let's give it a little bit of a mix, shall we? Notice how there's no salt, no pepper. Very questionable. I like the shredded carrots. I don't put carrots in my tuna salad, but I think that the shreddedness will be like kind of a fun texture. Kind of helps bind everything together. Yeah, that's incredibly white looking. That's probably too much mayonnaise, in my opinion. That's it for now. We cover and chill, and then we'll add the shoestring potatoes in once it's ready to serve. Which makes sense, you don't want them to get soggy. Okay, so that's that one. Then for our chip chicken salad, we need, it again calls for 2 cans of boned chicken cut up. I don't wanna use canned chicken, draw the line at canned tuna, but I do have some chunks of chicken breast here. And we're gonna go ahead and add chicken breast to our vegetables. We've got a 1/2 cup of diced celery, a 1/2 cup of diced green pepper, and 2 tablespoons of green onion this time. Now we're gonna add the chicken. Now this time it calls for 1/3 cup of mayonnaise, which I feel better about 1/3 cup. I think that that will be less wet. Again, no salt, no pepper. But I'm following the recipe. I guess the chips will add some saltiness. Oh, now this bowl is smaller, so it'll be harder for me to toss. I do like chicken salad and tuna salad during the summer. I feel like having a nice cold, crisp salad, you get the crunchy vegetables, it's full of protein, but it just feels like a little bit lighter than having like a full chicken dinner, you know? Again, this looks a little bit more bland than I'd like it to. But who am I to judge? All right, I'm gonna let these chill in the fridge for a bit, and then we will add their various chip components and serve them. It's time to prepare our garnishes. So what I've done here is I've gotten some lettuce and I've arranged it on my platter. And the idea is I'm gonna put like a big hunk of tuna salad in the middle here, as you can see in the front of the photo. So I have to slice the tomato and the avocado that will go around. I also read on the chip chicken salad, I should be garnishing it with melon wedges and strawberries, question mark. I don't have any melon wedges, but I will slice up a single strawberry to kind of put on top, make it look cute. I guess let's start with this tomato. I'm just gonna go down the middle here and try to make wedges around that center part that I want to cut out. And then for the avocado, I'm gonna split it in half. Oh, perfect. I think I'm gonna peel the skin off and then slice it if it will come out intact. Oh, yeah, you need the exact ripeness of avocado to do that. And I've got it, baby. Do I just go in half and then go in half again? They may be a little bit thinner than in the photo. Okay. Finally, strawberry, I'm just gonna kind of slice into slices so that I can kind of fan out the slices. That's my plan. Yeah, sure. Okay, let's add our chips. Okay, the card calls for a cup of crushed potato chips. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it and crush them as I go. Honestly, there's probably like a cup left in here. I don't want to over crush them because the chicken chunks are pretty big, and so you want these to be like kind of equal, I would say. This is a perfect use for like the bottom of a bag of chips when it's like mostly crushed anyway. I guess this is why kind of a wetter salad with the mayo makes sense, is because I forgot you're gonna put like a lot of extra surface area when you get the chips in. You want the chips to kind of soak up some of that mayo. So now we're gonna do the same thing with our tuna salad. And I have Utz potato sticks, shoestring potato snacks. And the recipe called for 1 can, 4 ounces. I can only find a 15-ounce can. So, let's see, a quarter of this can. If this was a 16-ounce can, a quarter of it would be 4 ounces. So like a little over a quarter of the can, I'd say. Again, I think I just gotta eyeball it. Ooh, cuties. Even if I did put too many in there, I don't care. That's what we're here for. That's the reason for the season. I'm not making just plain old tuna salad. I'm making tuna on a shoestring. And at first when I read the card, tuna on a shoestring, I thought like we have a whole section of the recipe card library called like on a shoestring budget or something. What's it called? Yeah, entertaining on a shoestring. So I was like, oh, they're just calling this because it's like cheap on a shoestring. And then I was like, no, it's actual shoestring potatoes. It's fun with the carrots too. Like you get these long bits of carrots and these long potatoes. Okay, that looks pretty well mixed as well. Okay, time to plate them. I'm gonna start with my chip chicken, putting that in my serving dish. Will it fit? Time will only tell. Whoa. You would think that maybe that meant that the chicken was chipped, like chipped beef. Now I'm gonna put my own weird strawberry in here, as instructed. I don't think a strawberry belongs in a chicken salad. Sure. Now I'm gonna take my shoestring potatoes and try to mound it right in the center here. I feel like this is very mid-century cooking. The art of mounding the tuna salad to give off kind of an impressive shape for your guests. I'm trying to make sure I got lots of shoestrings in the mix. Now, what to do? Alternate tomato and avocado and see what happens. Some will be on the lettuce, some will be around the lettuce. I'm trying to tuck them under, like they're tucked in the photo. I think the assumption is that like you serve yourself a bit of the salad and then like grab a tomato or grab an avocado to eat on the side. Gorgeous. I didn't use everything. You know what? I'm sick of you. Get out of here. I need a stronger tomato. Okay. Okay. Let's give them a taste. All right, let's give them a taste. Where do we begin? Let's start with the chip chicken. I'm gonna avoid the strawberries. Let's be real. Get some veg in there. Incredible. This is very similar to a chicken salad that my mom makes with the celery and the green pepper. We put shell noodles in there, but the potato chips are kind of a nice substitute for the noodle. I told you I didn't want strawberry. I'm gonna get more veg. The green onion like permeates nicely. It's just like kind of a hint of onion throughout. And I was right that the chips add that saltiness that you need. I will say they are already like getting damp. So you really have to serve this right away. Wow. Yeah, delicious. Wow. Love it. I'm sure I'm gonna love this one too. How do I do this? I guess I'm just gonna go in for a bite. Very similar, except for tuna. Yeah, the tuna flavor is really there first and foremost. I'm getting that bite of the onion. Again, the shoestring potatoes have immediately soaked up some of the mayo, and so they're not as crunchy as they were 30 seconds ago, but they have a nice flavor to them. You have the crunch of the carrots and the celery. It's kind of fun to eat it with like the creamy avocado, I assume. Yeah, I'm really surprised how flavorful this is. I really thought that they were both gonna be really bland because they looked so pale. Okay. These are both really good. All right, crunchy cold salads. These are both great. I'm really impressed. I had never thought to put chips in a tuna or chicken salad, but it adds such a satisfying crunch. It adds like a nuanced, like complex saltiness and like a bit of oiliness from the chip. And it just like really ties everything together. It's actually surprisingly flavorful given that there's no salt or pepper or spices or anything in here. And they both like presentationally are kind of fun. I especially loved the decoration with the avocados and the tomatoes on this one. And I think it adds to like the serving that, like, you know, if you're at a party, you grab a scoop and then you can have like a little bite of avocado or a tomato on the side. I think that's really fun and adds to the overall dish flavor profile. So I think I'm gonna have to give them 4 out of 5 red spoons. Okay, back in the box. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed these cold salads, check out chicken in melon rings next. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and until next time, happy homemaking.